Welcome back to Scones, Poetry and Tea. I am Careen Latoya. So, if this is your first time here, what's going to happen is I'm going to read some pieces from that book, free, and then after I read the piece, I'm going to explain the piece. You with me? You with me? Yeah? Cool. So the whole thing about Scones, Poetry and Tea was just a random name given to me by Sheen. I still haven't asked for a reason why Scones, Poetry and Tea, but we're running with it. We ran with it last week, we're running with it this week, and we are going to keep running with it. So, last week, we ended off on a nice piece. There was a very dark turn, and I was hoping that this would have been a nicer week. We'll see. We shall see. Let me see. I don't like tea that's too hot. It's not too bad. So my little cousin watched the video last week. Oh, let's change. And she told me that I needed to have my pinky out. So I'm going to attempt doing that with this. It's out. It worked. It worked. Let's swap sides. So, first piece today is Painful Smells. And if you weren't here last week, you wouldn't know. So last week, Thursday, was the 5-year anniversary, 5-year birthday for this beautiful book. Self-published and all of that. So, yay! And thank you to everyone who's ordered copies. Either a copy of Free or a copy of Naked Lenses. I appreciate you. I really, really, really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Painful Smiles. He is somewhere on the other end of the telephone, close enough to be heard but far enough for fingers to miss his skin. He tries to encourage her to do the best she can, barks at her when she fails, not realizing that she is longing for his full support. She holds a child in one hand with the phone between her ear and her shoulder as she tries to cook for the others. Her mind wanders through daisy-filled fields as it travels to another country, just for a quick mental escape before returning to reality, which laughs at her as she tries to juggle school and home and the maintenance of a healthy mind. This has been going on for years, and Dad has always been there on the other end of the telephone with criticisms. She drags her feet across the cold floor as her eyes beg her for a second to drift away, and her pieces of homework speak in hushed tones in the safety of her bag. She looks at her mother, who is weak, unable to move on her own, as her siblings look to her, awaiting the words, "Dinner is ready. Wash your hands before you eat. Eat everything on your plate." But no one knows that this is what life is like when she is at home. For a smile is what is always displayed upon her tired face. She reminds herself that she must stay strong, persuades herself that she ought to keep it hidden, that no one should know what her obstacles are. Her smile erases the pain from her face. Her smile beams along the corridors of the school, transferring her strength to those who can't persevere. A woman's work may never be done, similar to the smile of a young carer, which never disappears no matter how hard times are. So, that piece. The first school that I was working in, I came across a young carer who, she had to do quite a lot, and I didn't realize that she was a young carer. So it was upon finding out and doing a bit of reading and just seeing what carers do, etc., etc. That's how this piece was born, because as a writer, your mind just wanders, like completely wanders, and you start creating a whole bunch of different stories which may not even be true. yeah, I don't think like a lot of this is true because I didn't speak to her and say, so tell me about your life. You know, I didn't do any of that. And I envisioned what it would have been like for her, knowing that she had siblings to look after, very young siblings at that. So she had a sibling 2 years younger than her, and then the other ones were in like primary school, so really, really young. Actually, no, they were all in primary school. All of our younger siblings were in primary school, and there was a baby. Hold on, wait, no, bring it back. Two of them were in primary school at this time, and the youngest was a baby. Hence the whole thing about the baby. So that's that. It's as simple as that. There's nothing more to it. But I didn't realize, I didn't know about young carers until I was working in the school. I don't think I knew anything about young carers prior to like when I was in secondary school. And I feel like there are that I may have had friends in secondary school who may have been young carers. I'm not sure, but again, this is like the first time, like, oh wow. So yeah, that's that piece. That is that piece. That's the reason behind that piece. And there's nothing more that can be said, really. Do some research on young carers. Be good for you. Stuck out the pinky. Alright. Next piece is Morphing Love. This piece. Backstory for this piece. Yeah. It's a nice piece. Actually, the pieces may not be too bad this week. We shall see. Alright. When I love you turns into let's have sex, when cuddly toys turn into big grown men, when her innocence turns into his spider webs, when love goes wrong morphing into something else, when teenage life turns into teenage mums, when the world turns into the only enemies, when innocent games turn into real life things again, when I love you turns into let's have sex. It's a morphing love story, told by the bellies of young ladies who should be making stable futures for themselves first. This morphing love story goes horribly wrong, and wounds are now filled with regret, and parents now feel ashamed, hurt by their baby girls. This is what happens when I love you turns into let's have sex, when sex education turns into an experiment, when condoms turn into a magic trick, when morning after pills turns into tomorrow's pain, when legs for walking turns into can openers, when Goldilocks and the Three Bears turns into health leaflets, when Sunday dinner turns into let's feed the baby, when her father's presence turns into her baby father's absence, when I love you turns into let's have sex. I wrote that piece, I think I was like 17 years old. I think I was 17 because I feel like I wrote it before I went Philly in 2007. So that's why I think I was 17 when I wrote this piece. And it wasn't really like that at first, to be honest. So like the first time I wrote it, it didn't have the singing at all. It wasn't so rapish at all. But a big shout out to Quincy, Sator, and Cherie. Sounded like name was Anne Cherie. Oh no. So Quincy, Sator, and Cherie, thanks to those three blessed, beautiful souls, because they are the reason why this piece is the way it is now. And I can't remember how I did it originally. So now I'm just like, I have to go with it. I have to really go with that. So yeah, I was hearing a lot about teen pregnancies at this point. A lot about teenage pregnancies and teenage pregnancies and teenage pregnancies, and you get the point. So I ended up writing this piece. And knowing about health centres, the fact that you can get leaflets about it all, and it was just all of these things, just thinking about like how innocence and so on can be switched. And I wanted it to, I don't know why I went for morphing. I really don't know why. I may have been watching a lot of Charmed at this point in life. May have been. So Charmed could have, no, but they don't do, no, it has nothing to do with Charmed. I take that back. Probably does. Just the idea of things morphing into different things. Who knows? I was probably watching something to do with a lot of morphing. We never know. It was way too far back. So that was that. And yeah, that's it behind this piece. But I do remember, so we filmed, so myself, Cherie sang, Sator was behind the camera. A simple phone camera, to be honest. And Quincy played guitar. Those were the fun days. That's whilst I was in uni, so I'm not gonna tell you what year that was, but it was whilst I was in uni, and it was fun. We had fun. I had fun, and I love performing with like music. I really do, but more like live music. Oh my gosh! As a poet, right? Find yourself a guitarist, an acoustic guitarist, and perform with them, because oh my gosh, do you know how much life a live guitarist gives you? Oh my gosh. All right, anyway, bring it back in. Bring it back in. There was a video that was on my page. The video was on my page, and I'll think about making it public again. I'll think about it. In the meantime, let's go to the third piece for today. And this piece is called Ghetto. Down in the ghetto where nobody goes, there's some real bright talent waiting for those who would give them the chance to let their light shine. But those who should care don't wanna know, they don't wanna know, don't wanna know. So they, I mean, we hand these kids a gun to place in the back pockets of their jeans with a fag in one hand and a bottle in the other, wasting, consuming time as their minds go tick, tick, by over the influence from friends, and the drugs have never held them well enough to stop them from thinking about the greater things they could achieve if only they knew how to fly. But you and I, who say the future is bright, sure know how to tip them with a painting so bleak as they become a generation of tattered history, unknown to their kids and grandkids, if they even manage to find the one who they could call partner, and not that jailbait type either, but one who shares their interest in the beauty of life's simplicity. But how does a twisted tale spell simplicity? When we kick these kids in their stomachs and watch as blood crawls from their mouths with talent dripping down drains, wanting to be captured, to be bottled, whether or not it will be used, it doesn't matter. As for now, it needs to be identified. Down in the ghetto where nobody goes, there's some real bright talent waiting for those who should give them a chance and let their light shine. But those who should care don't wanna know, they don't wanna know, don't wanna know. Back to back singing, eh? I'm now so conscious of my pinky. Thanks, Nai. Thank you. I love you. Like, she actually messaged me and she was like, you're meant to stick your pinky up when you're drinking tea. So that's it. Alright, so to another little cousin. Alright, so she was about 2, 3, some point in life when she was really young. One of my cousins, Ray, this girl, she was singing Down in the Jungle Where Nobody Goes, that song, and it stuck in my head. So it's like, ooh, that would be a good one. So because it stuck in my head like that, and I am who I am, I ended up just using the tune. Because I was thinking about the way in which young people are treated. So there are so many young people who are talented, very, very gifted, very talented. However, with the society we're living in, those who should really be there for these young people, those who should really be helping these young people to thrive, to flourish, to blossom, they're not helping them. And they're instead taking away funding from a lot of the youth programs. So like very many youth clubs have shut down. Before I went uni, like, youth clubs were a thing. I came back from uni, a lot of the things that I was involved in as a teenager, they're gone. Why is it gone? Oh, funding's cut. Because we used to even get like money, which we could give to other young people. Like, they would have to apply for it, and we would be able to say, all right, cool, yeah, you fit what we want, and we accept this, and this sounds like a good project that you could really go after. So they would end up getting the funding, they would get the money and go and do what they needed to do. That died, that got cut. So a lot of these things where young people were actively taking part within their community, these things died out. So yeah, that's where this piece really came from. Like, they need people with them. Like, young people do need people to support them. They need people to believe in them. It's cool, it's all well and good, you say to them, all right, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to tap into yourself and da 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 and whatever not. But if the opportunity isn't even there for them to go out of their way to do things, why? What's the point? I'm not saying that they shouldn't try, but I'm also not saying that they can do it on their own. So yeah. Clotted cream ain't too bad. I'm just saying. I slightly wanted to put ice. Okay, so I've got one more piece for you guys. Yeah, so one more piece and we wrap up the childhood section. I should have probably said that at the start. So we're continuing on the childhood section. So 4 pieces last week, 4 pieces this week, next week is right. This piece is called REST. Follow me. If you've got the book and you've been going through, like, reading like the book whilst watching this, I appreciate you. I see you. Okay, cool. REST. Formality used for an informal action when young bones are laid down to rest out of respect because they got in trouble with another. But is it right to take the PEC out of RESPECT to say sorry and wish them sweet peace? Is it right to jump to conclude that she was gang related because every other dead youth is? We talk about the need to be respected, but they only pay respect when they put us to rest and bid us farewell, pray for our sins, telling God to take us in his hands. We now spell respect as RESPECT. T. Because we forgot its reality. And only when our friends' lost lives are found, we remember the accuracy in spelling a word we love to use. When respect now means rest, and resistance means retaliate, we never try to reconsider our reactions to misdemeanors. So we learn to hate, and we love to hate, and we hate to love, so we twist the meanings of what should be into what should never have happened. And we live a life of lies, pulling wool over our eyes, hiding from reality, spending time with cruelty. Underestimating others deemed to be weaker, so get involved in the quick game to our death, making it nowhere but our gravesides. But is it right to take the PEC out of RESPECT for them to say sorry and wish us sweet peace? And that's that. Yeah, that's that. So, rest. REST. This one, there was a time, I feel like this is now story time, where, let's start, right, we haven't heard a lot of it this year. Should check the news, because these things are still happening. Anyway, back then, there was a time where you're continuously hearing about deaths of young people, and it was just on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, and it was always gang related. Nothing else. It was always gang related. And I remember there was a young lady who died. She had nothing to do with gangs, but it was reported as something which was gang related. So, yeah, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. You've got the whole postcode wars and this and that and blah blah blah, the knife crime and all of this. Like the, so it's definitely gone up. I'm not sure how it has been since COVID, but definitely when I wrote this piece, we were inundated with news about young people killing each other due to gang related crimes. But as well as all of that happening, and whilst working in school, young people are, yeah, but this person don't respect me, this one don't respect me, this teacher don't respect me, so I've got to act a certain way. It's just like, what are you doing? Chill. Literally just chill. And yeah, it was just with all of that going on, I did this. So I guess that's all I can say about this piece, really. Can't tell you what year I wrote it because I don't remember. I'd need to like dig up one of my notebooks to find out, and yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about one notebook, but that notebook is so old. I really, really doubt that this piece is in that notebook. But it's a lesson. I must always date my pieces. Not as in take my pieces out on a date. I do that already. I haven't done that in a while because COVID, but I do that already. We go to restaurants and we sit down. Yeah, I write them there. Oh, that sounds like a whole poem in itself. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me once again for Scones, Poetry and Tea. Yeah, that dog wasn't impressed at all. But as I said last week, like, share, subscribe. And I'm gonna leave my Instagram details right there as well, and there as well. So yeah, Like, share, subscribe, Instagram. Also, leave a comment, please. Thank you very much. But that's it. So I'll see you again next week, Thursday. Maybe same time, but definitely the same place.